Hey guys, I'm Catherine, and today I wanted to talk about my top 10 just most memorable and favorite semester at sea experiences. And I tried to do a mix of both in-country memories and on-ship memories. So the ones that came first to my mind are major world landmarks that I had visited, and the first one was the Great Wall of China. So I knew when I found out that the route that I was going on semester at sea included China, I knew I had to go see the Great Wall of China. Basically, I went on a semester at sea trip. You can either travel in country alone or like with people, like independently, or you can go on semester at sea trips that you book directly through semester at sea. On my semester at sea multi-day trip, I flew from Shanghai to Beijing, and I got to see not just the Great Wall of China, but I got to see Beijing. But basically just, going to a world famous landmark that you learned about in school growing up, and it's just something that always seemed so far away, because it is. And finally going there and seeing it for yourself, something that's so well known, and it was just incredible. Definitely it's an old it's an old structure, so it was definitely like chipped and very steep, and I had to be kind of careful walking around, but it was amazing. And then the next one I chose, and this isn't really in any specific order because I don't know if I could honestly order all these. The next one that I'm just going to list has to do a lot with the first reason, which was another just famous site that I really didn't know if I was ever going to see, and that was the Taj Mahal in India. And the Taj Mahal is just like, it's so beautiful, just so incredibly beautiful. And it was basically like we walked up and we couldn't see the Taj Mahal. We were following, the tour guide or whatever, and we had to go through like an arch kind of doorway. And when you go through this doorway, you just see the Taj Mahal in front of you. And the best way I can describe it is it just doesn't look real. It looked like a picture. It looked kind of like almost 2D. We got some great jumping photos that I might include. That is some of my favorite photos I've taken, because it's me and some of my close friends jumping in front of the Taj Mahal. It's incredible. So that's definitely another top thing. Now, another thing that I knew I had to do on semester at sea was when I got to South Africa. They're known for safaris, and I love animals, and I knew I wanted to go on safari. I've been to zoos and whatnot, but I've never gone to an actual safari, like in the native land of where these animals are native to, like lions, zebras, like all the big 5 animals. Went on this safari, and we stayed at this beautiful kind of on a game reserve at a hotel that was, themed. The theme of it was well fitting for a safari. And I stayed at it was like glamping basically, but even maybe a step up. It was like this giant tent, and I shared it with another girl through semester at sea, and we had our own room, own bathroom, own bed, own everything. The shower was outside, but it was like completely hidden from everyone. It's just like part of kind of the experience. And we went on multiple safari trips. There were ones early in the morning to get certain animals, there were ones in the middle of the day, there were ones late at night. You could go horseback riding and look at animals. So trying to remember, I definitely did as much as I could possibly do, and it was incredible. I did go horseback riding, and I did see some of the wildlife. Like there was a rhino sitting and staring at all of us on horseback. No fence, no nothing, just like a giant rhino. And then it just like, I swear this rhino was staring at me on my horse. It just like stood up, and I was like, this is it. This is how it's gonna end. This horse is gonna bolt, and I'm either just gonna go off into the sunset, into the unknown, alone in the middle of South Africa on this horse away from a rhino, or this rhino's gonna catch us, or I'm gonna get bolted off. I know I'm being dramatic, but like in that moment it was truly kind of terrifying. But then there were also safari rides where they were like that classic Jeep that you think of when you go on a safari. And we were like near lines and everything with no fence. I'm sure it was safe, but it was just sometimes I was like, I hope everything will be fine, because they're like right there. I know I'm in a Jeep, but this Jeep is fairly open, so but it was incredible. I loved it so much. And even at night, like for dinner, they offered different game meat, and so I tried like a crocodile, and I tried some kind of wild antelope type thing. They offered zebra, which I was like, no, that's too close to a horse. Some of my favorite animals are zebras and giraffes, and I was like, that's too much. I'm not doing that. Now going on to an experience that was on the actual ship. So there was this one night. There's definitely all kinds of events always going on Semester at Sea, and there was this one night. I'm trying to remember for what exactly it was, but basically we were all on like the top deck, and they were blasting music, and everyone was just dancing. And we were in the middle of the ocean. We were dancing to some songs, and it was loud, and we were having fun. It was a blast. And then all of a sudden it starts pouring rain out of nowhere. And my first thought was, great, it's raining, this is gonna kill the party, everyone's gonna leave, and that's that. But in reality, that just made everyone so much more hyped up and so much more excited, and everyone started like screaming and dancing even more, and no one cared that they were getting soaked. If anything, they actually loved that they were getting wet, because it just added to, I don't know, the party, the ambiance, whatever you want to call it. And so here I am dancing in the rain, but like in the middle of the ocean, it's raining, I'm dancing with all these people, and it was just incredible. It was one of those life moments where it's just like, wow, I'm really here, I'm really doing the thing, doing it. Another experience that I had that I loved was glamping in Morocco. We basically drove out to a certain place, and actually on that drive, the man that was driving, he didn't know English, and he was singing though, like, you know how people sometimes they might not know English, but they'll know like certain phrases or certain songs, and he was singing part of Adele's Hello song because that was popular at that time. And it was so random, like he didn't know any English, but yet he was singing like 1 or 2 verses from Hello. It was very interesting, the types of people you meet in when you're out in countries. But anyway, so basically we got driven to a place where then we got transferred onto camelback, because where we were camping, you couldn't really get there by car because there weren't proper roads, and so we went riding on camels. And then we get to this place, and it's like a big circle of all these tents. We got fed such good food. I learned that I love Moroccan food so much, like couscous with chicken or something like that. It's so good. So basically just seeing the sunset in the desert, seeing like traditional Moroccan dances. They had like hats with like, I don't want to get it wrong, but there's like a string, and he would like twirl it, and it was pretty amazing to watch. So definitely another thing that I really love, one of my favorite memories from Semester at Sea. Another thing I did on Semester at Sea was when I went to Ghana, and one of the options was spending a night in a traditional Ghanaian village. And so I thought I had to do that, and I did. And basically you get there and you get partnered with like a Ghanaian like mom or dad, and it was truly a traditional village. Like like there were so many animals everywhere, and then there were kids that were like fighting to hold my hand. Like they would push each other, and I'd be like, you don't have to push, like I could share the hand holding or this or that. But they were getting slightly aggressive with one another in order to just like be near me and hold my hand. And I was just like I could give attention to everyone, it's fine. But it was definitely interesting. I got to see the types of food they make, I got to see where they live, I got to, you know, talk to them, of course, get to know them. And then like at night we had like this big campfire, and we made food and all of that, and then we spent the night there, and it was just very interesting to see how different people live in different countries. So definitely that's another memory that comes back to me when I think of Semester at Sea, and one of my top memories. Another one is Japan. So it was hard to pick one thing in Japan because I did independently travel in Japan, and I just saw a lot of different things. I love Japanese food, so eating different sushi around Japan, because I went to different cities, like it was so good. Even their 7-Elevens, which 7-Eleven is big in Japan, but eating sushi at 7-Eleven is fine, it's not sketchy at all. But my favorite part was going and sitting down and eating sushi at just traditional Japanese restaurants. I loved it. Like I would stay at different hostels, and there was one time where the hostel was either right above the sushi restaurant or across the street, but it's like it was right there and it was just so good. I loved it so much. And also the Shibuya, I hope I'm saying that right, the Shibuya crossing is crazy, and just watching that and crossing it myself, it, you know, it's like one of the busiest, if not the busiest crosswalks in the world, and it's just crazy to watch it. So that's definitely another memory of mine that just pops up. Another memory, it's kind of more broad. I love playing board games, and I feel like with quarantine and all of that, I've gotten back into them. But back when I did semester at sea, it was like while I was in the middle of college, I never played board games anymore. I was just, you know, you get caught up in life, you get busy. You know, when I did semester at sea, we barely had any Wi-Fi. We didn't really use our phones. But basically, in the evenings, most days, we would play some kind of board game or we'd play cards. Having the ability to, you know, get to know people actually face to face while playing board games was amazing. Like Pictionary was played. I learned how to play poker on semester at sea, which I didn't know before. And I learned I'm surprisingly good at poker. I kind of forgot most of the game now because I haven't really played poker specifically since semester at sea, but I just loved getting to know people while playing board games, especially. That really revived my love for games, and I got to learn a bunch of new ones. Another top memory of mine is the talent show. So I think there are multiple talent shows throughout semester at sea, but there's this one talent show specifically. I was in the Adrian Sea, which was the color orange, and my sea had come up with this incredible dance. Basically, they took the song Hello from Adele, because as you heard from earlier, that was a big song at the moment. Someone in my sea had basically recorded, so there would be announcements on the ship for the whole ship to hear, and someone recorded the announcements that the person that always made the announcements, she would always say kind of funny and interesting, kind of quirky things, but it was also just like a fun joke within the ship because everyone knew this woman's announcements. And she recorded these announcements and then put them in during certain parts of the Hello song.
Hello. It's time for the new announcement. Immigration forms. Please come to reception as soon as you can.
I'm pretty sure my C won, and it was so much fun, and that's definitely one of my top memories as well. And my last favorite memory from semester at sea, again, has to do with animals. So when I was in Vietnam, I got to cruise down the Mekong Delta, and there's this one day where I went on a day trip through semester at sea. We ended up going somewhere that had monkeys, and we got to we didn't really get to do anything with the monkeys. We just kind of watched them, but they were very close. We went to where there were crocodiles, and we went on these little boats, I guess you can call them, but you're standing and you have a little stick with string and then food at the bottom. I seriously, when I went up, those crocodiles were not moving at all. They were like frozen, and I was convinced that the tour guide was messing with us. They were fake crocodiles because I was on a tour. I already saw several animals, and so I was like, there's no way these are real crocodiles. Like, they're literally right there. They haven't moved for minutes, and I just didn't really believe. And then people, I had like the stick with the food over it, and I'm just like, no, they're not real. Like, they haven't moved, they haven't blinked. Like, living things move and blink. Like, they're just, I thought it was like a prank, like the tour guide was messing with us. And I remember the thing with semester at sea is you're going to all these different places with your professors, and one of my professors happened to be on this tour. And then there was a moment, like, it was so fast, in like a split fraction of a second, this crocodile went from like just being peeking over the water, it went like and it caught the food like that, and I screamed right next to my professor. It was a little traumatizing, but at the same time it was an amazing experience, because then once I found out that they are real, which shocked me, then we got to actually like know that they're real and then stick food near them and try feeding them. It was a little terrifying. So those are some of my top semester at sea memories that I have. And I hope you enjoyed listening to my top semester at sea memories. And if you did semester at sea, let me know if you have any memories that come to your mind that you love, or if you're thinking of doing semester at sea, what are some things that you would be really excited to see? I know it depends on the routes that you take. You know, if it's more European based or something like that, but what are some things that you would love to do on semester at sea? So yeah, thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.